Everyone called her a witch. Anything she did was deemed as witchcraft. When an old lady went to her for some help with medicine, they said that she had lost her mind. His friend tells them to stop and says that she knows a lot about medical herbs. That's why she's helping the granny. They look at him with disgust, making fun of him for standing up for her. They say that if he really likes her, he must be eager to burn at the stake right next to her. He tells them to act like grown-ups and stop teasing others. What he said was true. She was just knowledgeable about medical herbs. However, in this era, if you're too smart or too stupid, too good at something or too bad at something, or just too pretty, you get called a witch. There were 8 boys around their age in the town, and they all looked at her like that, except for these 2. There were 5 girls in the town, and they were blatantly jealous of her, especially this girl, Philippa. She was so mean that she was more of a witch than Cordelia. One day, when he came around to Cordelia's house, he found Philippa throwing tomatoes at her door. She asks if he was there to get beeswax. He tells her that the Baron has ordered more candles. She tells him that it's good for him. Now he has work for a few years. He sighs and says that it's just a tax he has to pay. She continues to throw the tomatoes, and he gets annoyed. He asks if they weren't from Fatty Madam's field. She shows him the tomatoes and says that she picked them herself. He asks why she's throwing those away, wasting such good tomatoes. She looks surprised, then grins. Later that day, Cordelia is getting yelled at by Fatty Madam. She tries to tell her that she wasn't the one who did it, but Fatty Madam doesn't listen to her. She says that there's too much evidence. The tomatoes on the door and a bag full of tomatoes inside. The girls laugh at her, and the boys say that they wasted too many tomatoes. But everyone knows that Cordelia wasn't the one who did it. Yet no one helps her. She was just a scapegoat. However, sometimes someone would help her, either because it was their natural character or because they had feelings for her. In any case, it didn't help much, because when one becomes a scapegoat, the rest band closer together. It may seem like it would be fine if she disappeared, but they would quickly find a new scapegoat. The inspector checks the tax. He tells Fatty Madam that she's short on tomatoes, and she blames Cordelia for ruining all her tomatoes. She tells him to catch the culprit if he has a problem with the shortage. Cordelia doesn't even fight back anymore. The inspector says that the Baron won't be happy about this. The ladies say that Cordelia is shameless to show her face here after what she did. Philippa sings and says that a witch should make the tomatoes grow faster, and the others laugh. An old man asks how they can laugh in such a situation, and another asks Colin if he shouldn't be making more candles for the Baron. Colin says that he has to wait for the mold to harden, and that he also has to finish the candlesticks and lamp decorations. The man offers to help Colin. He is taken by surprise since it's the first time. The others also offer him help, talking highly of him and calling him talented. He just laughs awkwardly, wondering why they suddenly want to help him. Cordelia gets into more trouble. One day, there are broken eggs on her door. The next, broken glass bottles filled with milk. But every day, she gets blamed for something she didn't do. He knows that the help they offered was nonsense. They were just making sure they wouldn't be chosen as the next scapegoat. He goes to Cordelia's house again to get beeswax, only to find Philippa throwing more tomatoes. He tells her that the elder just postponed the tax day for the tomatoes. She just continues to throw them at Cordelia's door and laughs. He has had enough and asks why she does this. She doesn't answer. He tells her that she could just not deal with Cordelia if she hated her so much. He asks what she gains from doing all this. He asks if it's fun making things miserable for someone already worse off than her. She just stares at him. He notices a black cat with a bow behind her. Finally, she breaks the silence and says that he's one to talk, calling him one-armed and making fun of him. Colin, the one-armed candle maker. One arm less, and he's so lacking, so his candles are the only thing good for a pigsty. All the people in town sang that. The scapegoat before the witch, the scapegoat saved by the witch, the one no longer the scapegoat. He shuts up after hearing that. Later that night, the men arrive at his house to collect the lamps. They ask if they were kept somewhere else or if they should look for them again. He's lost in thought until the man bangs his hand on the desk. He snaps back, confused. He asks if the candles were not there. They ask where he put them. He tells them that he took them with him to get flower decorations for Cordelia's house. They understand what's going on. There was a dead cat in front of the house with the broken candles. They see if they can salvage something, but the candles were all destroyed. They wonder what they can do about tax day, and the Baron was getting impatient. They ask who did all this. Fatty Madam quickly walks up to Cordelia, grabbing her hair and calling her a wench, starting to blame her for it. She gets saved, but she doesn't give in. She tells him to look at everything she ruined, and the others also chip in, saying that they will be sent to their graves if they miss another tax day. He tells them that she didn't even do it, and asks if they have proof of her involvement. The girls say that there is no need for proof, yelling and belittling her for roping a man in and hiding in his arms. They call her a witch. Everyone knows that it's not true, but they still blame her, the whole town. Then they look at Colin and tell him to say something, to say that she ruined his work. He remembers what they used to call him, the one-armed candlemaker, the half-wit candlemaker. Now they are calling her a witch. But who was the one who made her the witch? She was right behind him, waiting to hear his answer. He says that it was not Cordelia, but Philippa. She smiles and grabs his hand, and then blood splashes out. The townsfolk cause a commotion. They say that Colin stabbed Philippa. They ask if he was crazy, but Philippa just laughs. She says that Colin did a good job catching a witch of her level of guard. The people ask what she means. She asks if they still can't understand, that she was the real witch. They ask what she did to the real Philippa. She walks up to them and asks them to take a good look. She asks if she should just eat them to suffice her hunger. She calls the girl ugly and says that her blood must stink, then looks at Cordelia while saying that the blood of a beauty tastes much better. As she talks about eating Cordelia, she gets smacked in the head with a rock. The boy asks if she thought he would let that happen. She turns around again with a smile. The people all band together to fight her and run at her to kill her, but oddly, she doesn't fight back. Colin doesn't partake. After everything was done, the women who once treated her like a witch now say that there was no way Cordelia would do such a thing. The others agree. They say that they were fooled into thinking that they were friends and that it must have been the witch's magic. They say Cordelia is a nice girl who wouldn't do such a thing. They praise Colin for seeing through the witch's magic. They even try to cozy up to Cordelia now. They want to tell the church that they defeated a witch and get medals and drinks to celebrate, as the Baron would love to hear this news, even though they can't fulfill the tax requirement. Colin feels a deep sense of unease. Later that night, there is a sound of someone shoveling. A hand appears out of the ground. She flings the shovel away and wipes the sweat off her face, asking Philippa to watch her step on her way out. Cordelia offers a hand to her sister. She says that they buried her so deep, and maybe she should have used magic to bring her out. Philippa says that she would have been caught if she did, and asks if Lily, the little girl sitting on the side, also came to help. Lily looks away angrily and asks why she should help a master who makes her do strange things. Philippa asks what she means, and Cordelia says that it's natural for her to be in a bad mood. She asks why Cordelia is also taking Lily's side. Cordelia says that she didn't have to take things this far. Philippa dusts herself off while asking what she could have done, since Cordelia liked that boy so much. Cordelia says that there might have been another way. Philippa reminds her that she is a witch and prepares to leave before anyone sees them. Just then, Colin appears from behind and says that there is no need to worry. They are surprised to see him. In a flash, Cordelia appears in front of him with a knife in one hand and the other hand on his neck. He tells her to calm down. Philippa also asks her to stand down, but Cordelia says that they have to kill him since he saw them. Philippa fixes her hair and says that it's fine. She believes that Colin won't tell anyone and asks Cordelia to trust her. Cordelia lets go of him, still wary. There are marks of her hand on his neck. Cordelia asks her sister to leave quickly since the people from the church might arrive any time. Philippa also asks Cordelia to get back into town. Cordelia cries and says that it will be at least a few decades before they see each other again, and offers to do the same for her sister next time. She offers to get burned at the stake for her. Philippa says that Cordelia isn't even 100 years old yet to be talking like that. She says that Cordelia deserves happiness. Cordelia hugs Philippa tightly, during which Philippa tells her that human lives are short and tells her to try her best to live a happy life during that time. Cordelia promises to be happy and leaves with a wave. Both Philippa and Lily wave in return, and Colin is still waiting, his neck injured from Cordelia. Philippa turns to him and asks if it hurts. She tells him that Cordelia was born strong while using magic to fix his neck. The marks disappear. She starts to walk away from the town and tells him to go back into town, as he is too young to be out so late. Colin tells her to wait and says that she was using him. Philippa looks back with a smirk. He asks what is so funny. She says that the finale of her story needed closure and asks if he wants her to explain the plan to him. Colin is flustered. She asks him to be quiet and listen. She tells him that out of all the townsfolk, he was the best target, as he had no interest in anyone in town. He loved no one. He felt sorry for Cordelia, but couldn't muster up the courage to do anything about it. He was cowardly, but a good boy. He tells her that cowardly and good boy don't match up. She tells him that it's like that when you are good. She says that he has to be a little cowardly and a half-wit like him to be good. He pushes her hand away and says that he's not a half-wit just because he lacks an arm. She says that she didn't say anything about his arm. She is confused since her magic didn't work on him. She starts poking him over and over again to wipe his memory of her, but it doesn't work. She uses advanced witchcraft to send him back to the town, but he pushes her hand away again and says that he's not going back to a place like that. She is confused, and he is flustered. She gives up on magic and asks if he hasn't heard about the witch who kidnaps kids who wander in the forest too late at night. He tells her that she is a witch herself, and he won't go back no matter what she says. She tells him that everything is back to normal now. He says that it will only last a few days, and then the village will go back to its old ways. They will forget everything and single another person out, someone other than him and Cordelia. Another person to gang up on and belittle. He says that people never change. She disagrees with him. She says that it can't be right. She says that she guarantees that things will get much, much better in the town. He says that he doesn't want a guarantee from a witch and asks why she thinks that way. She says that it's because the evil witch was gone. He is awestruck. She then tells him to go back to the town again. But she thinks it would be too boring if he left like that and thinks of something more fun while Lily tugs on her hair. She asks if she should give him a few strands of her hair so he can go back and say he caught her while she was running away and killed her. She says that he can be a hero. He says that there is no need for that while running away. He also snatches Lily on his way. Philippa says that he can't take Lily since she is her familiar, but he doesn't listen to her. She asks if she can't trade Lily for her hair or nails. He doesn't want anything. She asks what he wants, and he tells her to follow him. On a different night, she runs through the forest again, turning back to see if Colin followed her or if he finally settled. Colin is still behind her. He says that she was late. She asks how he got there before her, and he says that her escape techniques are too cliché. She was in such a rush to leave Colin behind that she even left her familiar behind. She asks why he keeps following her. She says that he could have lived in this village or the one before that. He tells her that he's heard that from her 8 times now. She tells him to stop giving her a hard time and says that they are going their separate ways in the next village. He agrees, but she knows that he wasn't sincere. She says that the next village will be the last and the one after that. But he keeps following her, no matter how many times she tells him not to. While traveling on a farmer's cart, she says that the next one is the last, and he tells her not to sit like an old man. When she asks if he will settle in the next village, he says that he will think about it. She says that he is just a kid and that he has to settle down somewhere stable to grow up in. He asks her to stop acting like his grandma. He says that she is a wanderer too, But she says that's because she is a witch. She says that his parents must be worried sick and asks him to go visit them. He tells her that he doesn't have any family. He asks if she didn't know that he was an orphan. He says that if he had parents, people might not have treated him badly. But then again, they might have still done it because he only has one arm. She doesn't say anything after that. In the next town, she apologizes to him out of the blue while looking at an inn. He never knew witches apologized. He wonders if she was really a witch. She reaches her hand at him and tells the innkeeper that he is her son and Lily is her daughter. The innkeeper says that it must have been tough for her. She says that they've been sleeping on the streets for a few days and any discount they could get would be very helpful. The innkeeper buys that story and he wonders how she haggled so much out of the innkeeper. She flops onto the bed and says that they saved a lot of money because of the nice lady. He asks if witches are really so sensitive about money. She says that she has to be, since her alchemy skills are nowhere near Cordelia's. He asks what she's good at, and she doesn't really have an answer. He snatches his bag and asks if she forgot the one thing she was good at. While leaving, he says that she is really good at manipulating people. She asks where he is going. He says that he's going to sleep on the street since he served the purpose of getting the room for her already. She asks why and tells him to stay, to not leave her. He is confused, wondering if she was teasing him, but she was not. She was serious. And he can't sleep. He looks toward her, sleeping next to him, and is immediately flustered. When she wakes up the next day, he is sleeping on the ground, using Lily as a pillow. Later that day, the innkeeper calls her a young mother and asks if she was touring the village today. She tells them about the attractions to see in the village while serving them food. Philippa is just so excited to eat the food that she forgot about the story she made up. The innkeeper calls her a young mother again, and she finally remembers that she was role-playing a mother. She says that she's been there so many times, but she thanks the innkeeper since her son has never been there. The others can't believe that she has a son. They whisper, saying that she doesn't look old enough to have kids and that the kids must be out of wedlock. Colin calls her a bad actress when they are outside. He wonders how she lied her way through the act in his village. Then again, she just had to break things and misbehave. He tells her that she really can't do anything else. Hearing him call her a bad actor, she starts thinking for a while, then asks if he was just mocking her teacher. He asks what she means. She tells him that he can mock her but not her teacher and asks him to follow her. She takes him to a roadside theater show of some kind. She can't stop her tears looking at the horrible acting. He can't believe she brought him there, and Lily is just sleeping. After the show, he stares at her. She asks why he looks so scary and tells him that the performance was amazing and that she learned so much. He asks what she learned. She says that she learned acting. He wonders how he fell for that. Thinking it was a joke, he says that there was no way she had something to learn from humans. She tells him that because she's a witch, she has many things to learn, especially to blend into human society. He says that there is no way witches who prey on humans can live together in peace. His loud answer even wakes Lily up. He asks if she remembers the terrible things she did in the village and to him. She thinks about his words and says that he's right. She chuckles and says that she doesn't mind that humans think so badly about witches. Her smile makes him angrier. He asks who she thinks she is, sounding so condescending when she was the one the villagers went after with their sickles and stakes. She's just happy that they formed a bond over her sacrifice. He tells her that it's gonna get worse, but she disagrees again and asks if he wants to bet. He tells her to forget it and storms away, wondering why he is so angry on her behalf. She says it was scary seeing him so angry all of a sudden. Lily is angry that her walking bed abandoned her. Lily asks why Philippa lets him be like that. Philippa says that she can't do anything since her magic doesn't work on him. He has some kind of weird resistance. Lily asks why she doesn't escape him completely. Philippa looks at Lily, who is pointing at the sky while saying that she could just fly up with her broom. If not that, she could just teleport to a new country with a wave of her finger or a new dimension altogether within a second. Lily asks why she keeps on pretending like she can't shake him off. Philippa doesn't know herself. He ran away but had nowhere to go, so he came back. He thinks that it's because he's just a kid. The door slowly opens. Lily peeks through and says that her master sent her to see if he was still angry, while she apologized to everyone outside. He wonders why a witch like her was so concerned about how others think of her. She accidentally spills some milk while eating. He notices that she's quite clumsy. Her side of the desk looks like a war zone. He pulls out her handkerchief and says that she will soil her clothes and asks her to lift her arms. The others laugh at them, wondering which one is the mother. The innkeeper says that Philippa's son has a bright young spark, unlike her own son. Philippa agrees and says that her Colin is very smart. He wonders why he has to play her son. But his life with a witch is actually quite normal, like when she worries about how to spend responsibly for the next week, even though she is never in short supply of money. He is dragged along with her everywhere because to her, he is just a kid. They always end up in some kind of cheap theater. The plays are always about unconditional blind love, and she always cries at them. He asks her to stop crying at the cheap stage plays. She protests that even though they are cheap, they are touching. Lily also says that Colin is right while munching on cookies and adds that she is tired of watching those plays. Philippa tries to tell them that it's to study human nature, and they say that there is nothing to learn from them. She says that Lily shouldn't talk back to her master. Lily says that when they were in Colin's village, Cordelia could have done everything on her own, but Philippa butted in and made her do strange things. Colin asks what she means while cleaning her cheeks. Philippa says that it was years ago. He ignores her and asks Lily to continue. Philippa says that it was nothing. Colin says that she was stabbed with sickles, pretended to be dead, got buried alive, and then said it was nothing. She gets pushed away, and he asks Lily to say what happened again. Philippa sets her teacup down and asks if he has ever heard the story of the red dokebi. He asks if she's talking about an Asian troll. She tells him that once upon a time there was a red dokebi and he was a very nice dokebi. She says that its name was Reddy. He asks if she just made that up. She tells him to shut up and listen. She says that the red dokebi wanted to become friends with the humans, but that was not easy with its magical powers and frightful appearance. Seeing how sad its red friend had become, the blue dokebi says that it can help. She says that the blue one is called Bluey. But after offering to help, the blue dokebi suddenly started making trouble with the humans. Reddy had no choice but to chase Bluey out. After heroically defeating Bluey, Reddy was able to become friends with the village folk. Bluey had done everything on purpose for Reddy. So, without anyone noticing, Bluey quietly left the village, never to return again, all for the sake of Reddy's happiness. She asks if it wasn't touching. He says that her drawing skills were horrible. He asks if she was the Bluey and Reddy was Cordelia. She tells him that he's right. Colin didn't seem to think of Cordelia as a nice person. Just then, Philippa calls him and says that he can also be Reddy. He asks what she means. She reminds him about the time when he stabbed her with a silver candelabra. She tells him that she was the one who grabbed his hand and stabbed herself. She asks him to forget the details and listen to her. She says that if he had taken back her hair strands or nails that night, he would have been a hero to the village. He tells her to stop being so stupid. Even if it worked, the people would switch back to normal within a few days. She says that it's not true. He says that it is. Lily is tired of hearing this over and over again. Then Philippa asks what if they switch back to how they were, taking him off guard. He looks up at her. She says that it's the kind of thing she finds cute. They're good and then bad, kind to someone and mean to another, blame each other, then fight without knowing what it's about. When something big happens, they forget they were ever fighting and huddle together. They get close again but start fighting again later. All the little things about them. That's what makes humans so lovable to her. She says that with a big smile. He couldn't understand what she was saying and was about to get angry, but she would have said that even that was lovable. So he didn't say anything. He just sat there, grabbing his empty sleeve. After that day, he had to suppress that feeling several times. He could count the number of days that he wasn't mad with one hand. But even so, he never left the witch. And the witch. She wanted to settle down in that town. He thought that she was enjoying playing a mother. It was either that, or she was happy to have a family. They stayed in that town for 5 years. He went to the innkeeper to rent out another room. She understands that it's little uncomfortable for a grown boy like him to share a room with her mother. The innkeeper's son suddenly appears and asks if the witch was really Colin's mother. The other customers also think that the lady hadn't aged a day since she settled here. The innkeeper stops them. She says that Philippa is already having a hard time raising 2 kids and asks them not to be rude. The customers mind their own business after seeing the innkeeper beat up her son for being rude. Colin slips by and goes to the room to tell Philippa about changing rooms. She is confused as to why he wants to change rooms. She asks if they aren't acting as mom and son, and he asks what kind of mother shares the bed with a son as big as him. She says that they slept fine just last night, and then asks about the room fee. He tells her that he already paid 3 months up front. She asks how a young child like him got so much money to spend like that. He slams the door and tells her to stop treating him like a kid. He puts his shirt on, prepare to leave when Lily transforms and follows him. Philippa asks if he was going to be late and what about supper. He doesn't answer, so she asks again. He sighs, seeing her sad, and says that he won't eat outside and asks her to wait for him. He also says that he will clear out his stuff once he is back. He had opened a small shop on a tourist area to earn his keep, and somehow it became popular and busier each day. A merchant comes up to him. He immediately knows what the man wants. He says that he has no interest in opening a shop. The man says that 8 out of 10 maidens carry Colin's candles and asks him to move to Craftsman Alley. He says that he can improve his productivity by a lot if he moves to the Craftsman Alley. But Colin says that it's a bother to move. The man pats Lily's head and says that a father like Colin has to provide for his family and send his daughter off to a good marriage. Lily is mad that the old man made her drop her apple. Colin tells him that she is not his daughter. The man asks if the red-haired lady wasn't his wife. He wonders if others also saw them as a couple. He was thinking about setting up a shop just then. Lily notices something and gasps. He asks what's wrong. A kid walks up to the shop. He wonders if she lost her way, but she looked oddly familiar. The kid calls her master. Her master scolds her, saying that she told her not to call her master outside, calling her a bird brain, but she notices Colin. It's Cordelia, and she says that she is surprised that he's still alive. They go to a cafe to talk, but she can't believe that he has been living with Philippa, and that too for 5 years. Seeing her been so loud, he wondered if this was her real self. She calms herself down and says that it does make sense since Philippa was a generous soul. He doesn't say anything, but changes the subject, saying how pretty Cordelia's daughter was. Cordelia asks if he was changing the subject. He gives her daughter a cookie and says that she looks just like Mikkel, his old friend. Cordelia says that she fixed her so many times to resemble him. He asks what she means by fix her. Cordelia says that it was a whole ordeal. He asks if witches can use magic on a baby that is still in the belly. She laughs and says that she would never give birth to a child, just to ruin her body and gain weight. She says that the child was her familiar, who was a bluebird. And since she had so many familiars, turning one into her daughter was a piece of cake. And since the kid resembles her husband, he's happy too, and makes it easier for her too. She says that had she really given birth to a daughter then, that would mean that he would love another woman over her. Her teacup shatters as she said that. She says that she can't let that happen. Colin thought that she was deeply needy and twisted, but because of that she was very truthful, and she seemed to be truly happy. Lily tells him that all witches love like she does. The kind of love they have may differ, but they are all nearly the same. He wonders if that includes Philippa as well. He got back to inn early because Lily was in a rush to get back. He understands why. He asks what happened. She tells him that they suddenly tried to grab her. He asks if she killed them for it. She says no, it was just a bottle of strawberry ale of theirs that got smashed. He figured that she would never kill a human, while reaching for a shard of glass. She tells him that it happens from time to time, but when she looks back, he is grabbing onto the glass so hard that it's cutting into his hand. He stabs the floating man in the neck. in front of her. She immediately uses magic and asks what he was doing, and if he was trying to kill them, he says that she's right, as blood dripped from the glass shard. He tells her that since she didn't kill them, he would do it instead. She asks why he would do that. He asks what she means by why. He asks if she really doesn't get it. He asks if she was enjoying playing mother that much. Later when she came to him, he asked if Lily was okay. She tells him that Lily was casting memory manipulation magic on everyone, since it was a big commotion. She says that they might even forget that they were mother and son, since Lily also didn't like this whole mother-son thing from the start. He says that they could then stop living together. The room falls into silence again. He says that he could settle in that town like she always wanted, close the stall and open a proper store. Get a lot on the craftsman's alley. Then she would be free from him. She can mingle and live with humans like she loved to do. She finally speaks and says that after a while she didn't think of herself as mother as well. He smashes the bottle by his feet and asks what she was, if not a mother. He doesn't wait for an answer. He says that he's had enough and tells her that he was done. He wanted it all to end that day, so that they can do their own thing that they wanted to do. He knows that's what she wanted all along. She says that she will grant his one last wish. He scoffs and asks if a witch was going to grant his wish. He laughs and asks if it wouldn't get her buried in the ground again, or would it be him who gets buried this time? She says that she will grant anything while standing on the broken wine bottle. She tells him to just say what he wants. He looks at her and tells her to stop being ridiculous. He hides his face and says that he wants her to love him. She jumps forward to hug him. She asks if this was her being charitable, but she grabs his face and kisses him. It was like a fairy tale for him. The princess and the prince were happily wed. He doesn't even remember how years flew by. The old business was surprised to see them as a newlywed couple. He teased Colin. They were back to being a family, but it was different this time. The businessman asks what Philippa wanted to do now. She wanted to move out and grow the store business. She asks him to introduce them a nice cheap place. He says that she was quite the talker, unlike her husband. He tells her to leave it to him to find a new place for them to have another little kid. While they were having fun talking, there was a commotion behind them with the sound of something collapsing. The men shout that someone got crushed under an iron beam. Even death came like a passage from a fairy tale.